happens, there is a disparity in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that nobody else faces. There is a level of discrimination in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that nobody else faces quite like we do. This is about the freedom to educate our children in a less restrictive environment in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And that's simply what this bill is about.
William Penn, in the Charter of Privileges in 1701, recognized that no people can truly be happy if abridged of their freedom of conscience. And freedom of conscience just doesn't end with conscience. It ends with the ability to act upon those conscience and those beliefs.
There hasn't been changes in the law for over 25 years when other states have embraced homeschooling, have made changes, have modernized their statutes. Pennsylvania has not. And there are still situations where school districts and superintendents can go too far.
Homeschoolers basically did the same whether they were in a state with virtually no regulation, the states that just say you have to notify your school district, or whether we're a state like Pennsylvania or New York that has high regulation. And interestingly enough, the amount of regulation did not impact academic achievement as measured by the SAT scores.
There are superintendents, there are school districts under the current law that put these requirements on parents. Parents spend more time worrying about whether their portfolio complies with a particular superintendent's whim that year than actually educating their children. And that is the concern. I don't think there's any family here that's going to drop any of those particular subjects. Of course not. And I would say it's important that we do keep in mind when we focus on exceptions to policy and things like that, if you look at the statistics and we talk about policy and regulation, I think it's much more likely that that public school students are going to slip through the cracks and drop out and not receive a proper education than a homeschool student.
There's a sense of fear and intimidation that the parent, once they get to that level, doesn't feel adequate. So by lowering the law and removing this step of the portfolios being examined twice, it sort of frees up that, hey, I can do this.
We began to try to ease the burden on parents and put Pennsylvania more in line with other states in the nation. Another effort with the same bill was made in 2007, 2009, 2012, and the current bill was introduced in 2013. All the times that we have tried to get the law changed, this seems to be a time when the political environment is most favorable.
This building tends to be about the status quo and trying to move things forward when you're competing with 3,000 other bills and 1,000 other resolutions becomes very difficult. It takes your voice, it takes your face, it takes your hand on a letter, and right now
You know about the restrictions that we're trying to get lifted. That is the double jeopardy, the double evaluation of the program by both an evaluator and a superintendent, and to try to get the homeschool high school diplomas recognized by the Commonwealth, because after all, Pennsylvania is the only state in the nation that has homeschool graduation requirements right in the statute. And we believe that once a family fulfills those requirements, it's only fair that the state recognize a diploma that's been issued pursuant to completion of those requirements.
And this bill would allow your evaluator to check off, and you have consummated the educational requirements that the Commonwealth has mandated for you, and you could receive a diploma, you could receive a certificate validating that you've accomplished all that you needed to do.
We're a large state. We're a diverse state. And all of our families that are in there are also diverse. And we need to make sure that these kids are getting the best education for them in what form the parents decide is best. And if that's homeschooling, we need to make sure that it's easily accessible so we can do that there is some accountability in the system, which, believe me, in Pennsylvania, we have plenty of that.
We think this is the time to do it. And this is the time really for homeschoolers to come together and work hard and try to get it through, because we don't